Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to the next reaction to the 100 Season 7. The last episode that we watched was called False Gods, the third episode of the season. And there were some really interesting things in the episode regarding Russell and Raven, funnily enough, because Raven's not had a lot to do over the past couple of seasons, really. She's not had a lot of interesting storylines, but last episode they really gave her something juicy to deal with. So there was a problem with the nuclear reactor on Sanctum. There were just people trying to fix it, people died. There was a problem, it was leaking out radiation. So she sent people in to help, ultimately sent people in to die, and lied to them, and let them die, and then locked Murphy in to that room where the radiation was to try and help fix it. And there was a lot of different things going on, but ultimately almost killed one of her own. And, well, Amori got radiation sickness, and Murphy's not doing great either. So I'm hoping that they're going to be okay now. They've been decontaminated, but I'm hoping they're going to be okay. We also had Russell, who is now Shade Hader. I probably need to stop calling him Russell, but until the people are aware that he's not Russell anymore, I'm probably just going to keep calling him both, because they think he's Russell, but he's not, he's Shade Hader. And he got shot because the people were going to, he wanted to talk to his people before he died, to act like a martyr. He got shot. They realised they couldn't kill him anymore because that would turn him into this figure of like, he died for us, which is ultimately very powerful an image. Therefore, they couldn't kill him, and it turned out that he actually arranged for someone to shoot him to have that outcome. At least that's how I interpreted the episode anyway. But it was all a manipulative ploy on Shade Hader's part to kind of start to work to get to where he wants to get to, and manipulate the people that are running Sanctum to make him, to stop him from dying, and to make him more of an important figure and all this stuff. So, oh, and also people realise now that Maddie's no longer a commander. They know the Flame is dead. There's no commander. One crew are kind of not happy about it. What's going to happen with that? I don't know. But this episode, I feel like, just with the name, which I don't understand, but I'm going to talk about that now, is going to focus on the other stuff through the portals. So, this episode is called, I want to say it's pronounced Hesperides? Hesperides. Hesperides. I'm going to Google it because I don't really know what it means. Hesperides. In Greek mythology, the Hesperides are the nymphs of evening and golden light of sunset, who were the daughters of the evening and nymphs of the west. So I don't really know what that means. They were nymphs in Greek mythology. Obviously, I understand what that means, but I don't know what that means in terms of the 100, because I don't think they're going to introduce nymphs. However, just with the fact that we're introducing Skyring and Bardo and Disciples from past experience with the show, when it's a title of an episode that's like this kind of name, it's like the name of a new city or a new person or something that we're going to be introduced into this episode potentially. So I think it's going to focus on either Hope, Octavia, Dioza, Bellamy, something on that sort of plot line. I hope so anyway, because I want to know more about what's going on with them. But let's jump into the episode to find out. If you enjoyed the video, leave some comments down below. Let me know what you thought of the episode and the reaction. Please subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and take a look at the Patreon link down below to watch a full-length reaction to this episode, as well as help support the channel. Let's jump into the 100 Season 7. That's for Season 7, Episode 4, Hesperides. Hesperides. Hesperides sounds right. That sounds like a Greek name. Hesperides. Let's go. It's interesting now we're finding out maybe what happened between now and
Mom?
The season finale. Maybe. Or at least just the next chapter. This old man. Weird. Oh, don't get excited. Who's there? People from Bardo? He's handsome. I feel like they're gonna make friends.
10 years. Till then, it's just you and me.
Oh, poor Hope. I guess if you're the only two people on the planet, you've got to make friends just for human interaction. Hey. He's got to be almost out now then, if she's aged that much.
I'm ready.
This stuff is so weird, man. Nice. One's down. Come on, Hope. Come on, Hope. This is your shot. No. He seemed really nice. I'm starting to really like him as well. Use the anger.
We have 5 years to train for a jump into the middle of a fortress guarded by thousands of highly trained soldiers to rescue the people we love. By then, he'll love us. That's why he'll help us.
So Bardo is a busy place.
I've done this before.
It's gonna be a hard sell as well, though. Like, yeah, so we're gonna be here for 5 years. Let's start training.
Tell her how many you saw.
Just one outside the shield.
Alive?
Apparently he asked for Clark by name.
What?
They have our people. We'll need backup.
Wait a minute.
Well, they've got Bellamy.
Just like that.
Of course she is.
I'm glad that she's struggling with this.
Hey.
Not that I like her even being in pain,
I'm busy. What do you need?
but it means it has weight to it.
Bellamy, Echo, and Octavia are in trouble. Yeah, you should see the other guy.
Tell me what's wrong.
A nuclear reactor almost melted down. If you didn't do what you did, those people would still be dead. And so would everyone
She's right.
else in Sanctum.
I can't forget their faces.
And you won't. Just don't forget the ones you saved. Come on. It's easier if I just show you.
Nice response. That was a really smart way to think about that.
Clark Griffin, thank you for...
Where are my friends?
Your friends killed 3 of mine. I believe you have one of their bodies.
Oh, boo-hoo.
I'll need her back. We are the disciples of a greater truth, and we need your
Of
help.
course you are.
Our leader believes that you are the key to winning the last war mankind will ever wage.
Just that, huh?
Come with us, Clark. You
Sorry?
have my word you'll be unharmed. We'll retrieve them. You can meet them at the bridge.
Bridge?
I believe you call it the anomaly. We've harnessed its power.
First time we worked together. Just us on the
Right.
ship. We realized Sanctum was a moon. Before we screwed everything.
Yeah, I was there.
And now you've gone all creepy and weird.
But it will give our friend out there something to long for. Seeing the 3 of us working together as a team. Trust me, he'll want that.
I'm hoping they don't have to wait here for 5 years.
Is that how you make friends on the Ice Nation?
Just Ice Nation. There's no that.
Okay. Why is she writing this down?
Hesperides. 3 maidens.
Like us.
Yep, you're right. Exactly like us. 3 maidens. Guarding a garden.
You said that
Oh,
they
okay.
were guarding a golden apple.
Some powdered jellyfish. Trust me, it's better than Monty's algae. Sorry. Makes them taste better.
Whoa.
I found these
See, he's a bit more calm than he
pumpkin
was.
seeds.
Hey, it's okay. I'm not gonna hurt you. No, wait.
That was really smart.
Got a better idea.
She had a horrible life, though.
We bait the hook
Like, it's just been such a
with you.
small life.
Hold on, I'm coming!
I don't like traps when it's like against someone who's not a bad person. I don't know, it feels weird.
I was trying to get to Bardo to save my family.
You can't. The bridge is too deep.
Hey,
The only way off this planet is on my absolution day. 4 years, 10 months, 22 days.
Orlando, tell us about you.
Orlando.
What are these?
12 symbols, it means you're level 12, right?
Level 12.
The L7 who atoned here before me. He teach you that?
We failed because I hesitated when it was time to kill. He's dead because of me.
was the shepherd on Allegius 3 as well?
Don't say his name.
You still believe all that stuff even after they locked you up? Why did they lock you up?
Shepherd's Law number 4. Honor the day of rest. To be efficient the rest of the week, I chose not to rest, and I was punished for it. Thanks for everything. It was.
I don't think I'm fully following what's happening. Something to do with the shepherd. A day of rest. So do they have a Bible?
It worked.
That was convenient.
Cool. So what do you see?
Everything.
I feel like I'm going to be getting really confused again as to what the hell's going on in this show.
How are they all connected? Wormholes.
What?
The
No
bridges.
way.
Yes. Way. The anomaly is a wormhole.
Way. I have a feeling she's going to get her ass royally kicked.
Theo would have loved seeing you get your ass kicked.
Memory capture. It's not torture, unless you fight it. And Theo did. And apparently, so did my mom.
Because of what happened last time at Dev, they'll send more people.
They.
We.
So help us.
Thanks for the veggies.
We don't want to kill your people, okay? We just want to save ours. Would the shepherd not understand that?
I told you not to say his name.
Sorry. I know a thing or two about worshiping false gods.
What did you just say?
I mean, no offense.
We don't kill anyone, you get your people and you get out.
Best efforts. You're a soldier. You know that in battle things can
Done.
go.
I got 4 years, 8 months, and 17 days to turn you into disciples. If you survive.
It's a long time. 4 years of probably training, probably every day, near every day. It's a lot of training.
Congratulations on reaching level 12.
Oh, she's a haircut. How long's it been?
It must be hard to dedicate your whole life to something that may never come.
Not really. I didn't know anything else until I met all of you.
Here we go. Let's see how successful this attempt is.
It's a trap. Ghost mode now.
Of course it's a trap. Ah, behind you.
Not again.
Don't hesitate. Do not hesitate.
She had no choice and you know it.
Unfortunately.
How many more people will he know on the other side?
I'm gonna leave him.
I have to save Bellamy. If we leave them alive, he'll tell them everything, and they'll come after us.
She's not wrong though.
Time, we have to go.
No! Echo! You'll be with us!
Go Echo, I mean she's not
He's
wrong.
leading us through the compound. He's our friend!
Yes,
He will betray them though.
but we are not his people.
Oh, it's harsh. This season's dark.
Echo, this is wrong.
Cut yourself free. I am sorry.
He'll be alone for years.
Oh, I'm conflicted.
They were on penance. They're not anymore.
Penance?
Penal planet. I told you, time moves much faster there.
There's another
I managed
planet?
to kill 5 more of my people.
Or is that the
We
Sky
found the
Ring?
graves along with the body of a disciple prisoner who apparently spent 5 years with them. He killed himself after they betrayed him.
You're lying.
And he is too. Suicide note.
Jesus.
Top. Good trick.
Seems our intel on you is correct. You're smart, brave, willing to risk your own life. You can answer my questions voluntarily, or you can wake up connected to a machine that will extract everything we need to know.
No, thank you.
Get down!
Raven, hello. She killed some more people. Cool.
You did.
I just killed 8 people. Nothing about that is okay.
Where does it lead? Everywhere. Okay, it looks like there's 6 planets in what could be a network. 1 seems to be offline, and 1 is Sanctum.
2 stars?
Yeah.
We try them all. Pick one and enter the code.
It was easy stuff.
This one looks fun.
What if the fun one isn't survivable?
Why is Nyla here?
Who wants to go for a ride?
This is so weird. This is such a weird show right now.
I'll be waiting.
So maybe they're going to Penance, maybe they're going to Bardo, maybe they're going to a new planet.
Ladies and gentlemen, Hart Griffin has left the planet.
Oh, they gotta get sucked through it.
Is everyone okay?
What the hell are they?
You like this planet better, Miller?
I say we try the next one.
We need an anomaly stone for that.
Alright, so now we're on some snow planet. What's going on? Okay, that was my reaction to the 100 Season 7 Episode 4, Hesperides. And I think I've started to really pick up on why people aren't as connected to this season as others. Maybe there's a lot of other things that go on in the next 10, 12 episodes. I think it's 16 episodes, right? So in the next 12 episodes, there's probably a lot of things that happen that people maybe don't like. But I just feel like this episode really solidified to me that this show doesn't really feel like the 100 anymore. It's not that I'm not enjoying it. There's bits that I like and bits that I'm not so keen on. But just the multiple different planets and the portals and the invisibility and the hats that and how we can access the solar system and access these wormholes that go to other planets. And let's just pick this planet and put the boop, beep, beep, boop. And we go to this planet and it's now a snow system, a snow planet. It doesn't feel like the show that we started off at. And there's not necessarily a problem with that because shows have to evolve. 7 seasons in, the show is going to look very different to how it usually is once you've started. But it feels like the core of what the show is has gone a little bit. And I don't really know fully how to formulate what that means in my head. But to me, it just feels like such a different type of show now. Whereas, like, the first few seasons, putting aside, you know, Mountain Men or the Alley Chips and all that stuff, it was a show based on these people on Earth, on this one planet, all trying to live together on this one planet. And it all felt very human and very grounded in the laws of what we know now. Which, even though there was people that live in space, it was all stuff that we could do now. We've got space stations up there and people live up there and whatnot. And that was kind of, how do I word it? And so like the first few seasons, even though it was like people that lived on Earth for longer and they might have introduced this computer chip commander thing, it all made sense from the science that we have in today's world. We don't, at least right now, have wormholes that lead to other planets with invisibility suits. We don't have access to a bunch of other planets that we can just zip to by putting codes in this mysterious floating orb which accesses a bridge to another world. It's just very... It is kind of what I feared from the end of Season 6. It feels very, very sci-fi, but a level that's above the sci-fi that the show has hit before. And I think maybe that's what people don't love about the season. I think. I could be wrong. I've not seen any reviews. I've not seen any comments about what people don't like about Season 7. But right now, 4 episodes in, whilst there's bits that I'm liking, it does feel like the show has changed a lot in what the show is at its core. You know? I hope that makes sense. So let's talk about the episode Hesperides, which was actually a reference to something that Octavia taught Hope about in the garden. They painted it on a rock. It was about the 3 maidens of the garden, which was her, Diosa, and Hope. A bit of a weird title considering they were on... Well, Octavia was only in one scene. It was mostly about... There was a lot of stuff in the garden, I guess. But it felt like it was about one little scene in the flashback. I did like the episode, I promise. I have got positive things to say about it. But there was a lot of things I was like... I'm not too sure about all this. We had Hope living on the planet. The Bardo people, the disciples, sent their first prisoner to what they call it Penance, right? So we know that planet, the Hope called Skyring, is actually what they named it, Penance. They sent the first prisoner, which was a guy called Dev. And quickly, her and Dev made friends. They were there together for 5 years because he got the timer on his arm that ticks down. So they're there together for 5 years, and he helped train her, and they lived their life together, and they became friends as she grew up. And that was very sweet. And ultimately, he was going to help her try and rescue her mum. So he said, once the thing opens, we're going to attack, we're going to take the suits, then we're going to go through the portal back to Bordeaux. But she hesitated. Dev died. She got stuck on the planet, and that was really sad. So, but that's still not really answered the question that I now have, which is, all right, so that plan failed. So, what happened between then and Hope arriving back on Sanctum to stab Octavia? There's still that portion of that piece of the jigsaw, I guess, missing from the timeline. We've got Hope being born, all the way through to her being, how old she meant to be, a late teenager, an early 20s woman. However old she's meant to be now, we've got that a little gap filled up to that point. We saw the first escape attempts. They killed a couple of people, but she hesitated when she went to kill someone, which led to Dev getting killed, which was actually really sad. I liked their relationship. I thought, for the very little time that we spent together, it was clear that they trusted each other. They had no one but each other. And so they made a very quick bond that they had no choice but to make. For the sake of human interaction and, you know, not being by yourself for 5 years. She was very alone anyway. We got to see their relationship, and it was sweet. I liked it. Sad that he died, but ultimately, it's the 100, and just with the way we know where Hope is at current time and the current storyline, I felt like she wasn't really going to necessarily be, you know, still living busy mates with this guy anyway. So he died. Escape attempt failed. What happened next, we're not sure. With the age of the actress in terms of where they left her at that point to when she came through in the finale, I can't imagine there's a long period of time between that event and that event happening and the season finale of season 6. However, Octavia was in that planet for 10 years and she didn't really look like she aged at all, other than the fact that her arm got younger and better, which they still haven't explained. Octavia didn't really age at all, so that was really weird. In Modern Time with Hope and Echo and Gabriel, well, when they first crossed over, obviously we'd seen that the guy, Orlando, another new name to add to the list, he struggled to connect with them, but similar to the relationship with Hope and Dev, over time, they started to kind of slowly bridge a bond with him. He brought them seeds for pumpkins because he saw that Hope liked it. They ate outside to show, you know, that they're maybe not a threat, and slowly showed themselves to be welcoming to this guy because they needed him to get out of the planet, the moon, whatever it is a planet, right? To get out of this prison. They needed him to help them because he had knowledge that they don't have. And they did this whole thing where they faked her drowning so that he saved her. Whilst I felt a bit bad for him because we already saw him playing the game with the dead bodies of his team around him. He's talking to them. He's obviously not mentally in a good state. And then they faked her drowning. Luckily, that kind of it worked out that he saved her. They're friends now. It wasn't plain sailing, but he did agree to help them. He's like, right, we've got 4 years and 10 months to train you up so that when my absolution day comes, the timer goes to 0, we can save you. And I feel bad, and I guess that's one thing at a time, Scott. I feel bad for that they have to spend 5 years on this planet because they went with the intention of, we're going to go over there, beep, beep, boop, next planet, move it on. And so to find out you've stepped through this portal, oh, by the way, you're going to be here for the next basically 5 years, that's a hard pill to swallow. And it took them a while to kind of come to the idea that, or be comfortable with the idea that, yes, we're stuck here, we've got no choice now. Obviously, that's it. You have no choice, you have to just get on with it. But we saw that they were there for a long time. And there was another time jump to the end of the 5 years, which was signified by the fact that they had haircuts. Now, I'm not used to Echo's short hair. I'm not sure how I feel about it. But I like the character, and we'll talk more about her in a second when the escape attempt happens. But I think, for me as well, that's another reason why I'm struggling to connect with the season just as much, because the stuff on Sanctum, all good, I'm liking all that on the most part, right? But the stuff with this planet and the time differences, and it's hard because it's like, oh yeah, by the way, it's now 5 years later. And time jumps in TV shows are always quite difficult to connect with. They're not done very well a lot of the time. Sometimes they're pulled off, sometimes they're not. But it's just like there's such a huge portion of this character's life that we've seen basically everything that's happened with this character for the past 6 seasons. We've now just skipped 5 years. Boom. And it's different to when they've been asleep for like 100 years when they're frozen, because we haven't missed anything of their lives. It's just like they've been frozen for so long, now they're waking up and they're at a new place. So I appreciate that maybe it doesn't, what I'm saying might not make full sense, but the fact they've had 5 years on this planet, and it's just, oh yeah, by the way, it's 5 years later, we had a time jump. By the way, with Octavia, she's been here for 10 years. Whilst it's nice to see elements of it and to not have to watch the whole thing, it is just like a disconnect from me that we're seeing all their lives and the troubles they go through, and now we're just jumping ahead 5 years. Now I understand the reason for that story-wise, narratively, is because they're stuck on this planet where time moves differently. They are stuck for 5 years. They don't want to show us the whole 5 years. I get it. I get that from a story point of view. But from a connecting to a character, just doing all these time jumps where it's like 10 years and 5 years, and when they go over to Bordeaux, there might be different time movement. And then again with Sanctum, it's just odd to me to connect with that character. And I know what I mean in my head. I don't know if I'm saying it very well, but I don't know if that's maybe another element that people are struggling with this season, which is just time jumps in general, and shows often can be a bit of a disconnect for the audience, and I'm feeling that a little bit with this. But I get why they did it. So, they jump 5 years ahead, it's time for the escape. The guys come through from Bordeaux with the suits, they attack. Echo does not hesitate, and that's what I kind of love, because Echo is hard. She's a fighter, she's a badass. And I agree with the elements of what she was doing. You know, I like the fact that she killed all the guys. And like, at the end of the day, we leave them alive. They're going to come after us, and they're going to have knowledge, and he's going to help them because they're his people. We saw that when she killed one of them, and he started to get emotional, Orlando, about it, because it's one of his people. He's level 12 something. I'll talk about Orlando in a second, but I like the fact that she went and killed them all, because it's like, they're going to come after us. They're going to get knowledge from him. They're his people. I have to kill them. And I like that. Now, I felt conflicted about the fact that she left Orlando. Ultimately, I agree that she did the right thing. She left someone who ultimately is not one of her people. Yes, he's helped them for the past few years, but his heart probably lies with his clearly lies with the shepherd. He talks about his faith and the shepherd, and they follow the shepherd and his word, which feels very biblical. So I wonder if elements of it is they've had Bibles and it's the shepherd from the Bible that they've taken that from, or not. I don't know. I mean, looking forward to seeing what their system's like. We've got the level 12. We've got different structures, a belief system to learn. We've got the shepherd to meet the disciples to understand fully what that means. There's level 12. What are the different levels? Are we talking like a Scientology sort of setup, where the more levels, the higher up the level you go, the more you'll learn the truth? Are we talking, is it more like a government thing where there's like buildings where you have access to different places which is similar to Scientology in some ways, but is it more like a government structure? Is it more technological? But I'm guessing it would be the fact they've got these suits with the invisibility and all the technology inside the helmets and the guns and the ability to access these bridges and shut them down. It feels like they're going to be more advanced on Bordeaux, I think. So they escape. So yeah, leaving the guy there, Orlando, because I feel bad for him in the sense that he has spent years training them. I realise my review's jumping around a lot. He spent years, of almost 5 years, training these people, connecting to these people, struggling to get onto, to trust them. But then he started to trust them, and then they betrayed him. And if I am piecing together it all correctly, the stuff on Sanctum was them kind of going, so yeah, this guy got betrayed and then he killed himself. So I think Orlando took his own life. So I feel bad that they betrayed him, but ultimately I think I would have done the same thing, because they've got to think about themselves and what their mission. And he is a factor that when they get to Bordeaux, he serves his time. He could be, he's done his time for his crime. He's going to be back in their good books, in which case he doesn't need to necessarily help them anymore. And so he's working against them. So I like Echo a lot in this episode. Loved what she did. Thought it was great. The stuff on Sanctum, there wasn't a lot really, other than Raven's still really struggling with what she did last episode, which I like. Not because I like seeing Raven in pain. I don't. But I like the fact that it gave it a lot of weight of what happened last episode. It wasn't just, it happened, she was upset, let's move on from it. They've given it weight, and she's struggling with the fallout of the fact that she helped kill these people, and it was her actions. And whilst it was right, it was a nuclear thing that killed them, she sent them in to die and then lied to them about it. And she's struggling with that, and I like that. And I like what Clark said, which was, yes, you're not going to forget the faces of the people you killed, but don't forget the faces of the people that you saved as well. And she's right. She did that to save Sanctum. All them people would have been wiped out otherwise when the nuclear, core thing, reactor, had a meltdown. So I like that. But then it didn't help that so the people from Bordeaux came over to get Clark. She went over to the anomaly to speak to them. Raven came out of nowhere in the invisibility suit and killed 8 of them. And the second she did that, I took the helmet off. I was like, oh no. Raven's killed 8 more people. It was 8? Was it 10? I think it was 8 more people. So not only is she already struggling with the grief for killing the people, leading to the death of the people down the reactor, she's now shot 8 people. Now don't get me wrong, they were going to try and take us and kidnap us and take people over, and they had bad intentions, right? Because they're here to fight the last... Fox in a minute, Scott. But I feel for Raven. I feel like this season's going to be rough for her. But I'm liking that they're giving her more to do. I really like, because I like the actress, I like the character. I'm glad to see she's getting more attention. So, the guys from Bordeaux came over and said that they are going to fight the last war of humanity. Now, I've seen the episode titles for this season. When I start a new season of a show, I have like documents where I track all my recordings and episode lists and stuff, because I like lists, I like episode guides. So when I start a new season, I write down the episode titles for the season. I know the last episode's called The Last War, so I feel like it's going to lead towards whatever they were talking about. But so they talked about the last war of humanity, so every time we're like, we're the last of the human race, we then find out that there's more. But maybe between this planet and the 6 planets that we've seen are part of this network, this is the last of humanity. I don't know. I don't know much about this last war, what it means, what Bordeaux... why they don't want to just try and make friends with all the people that are alive. Why don't we just all try and live and be a better future and be humanity's future? And, oh, here's loads more people that are alive. Cool. Let's all become one big team and save the human race, rather than just let's try and kill everybody, kidnap anybody and steal their memories with this MCAP thing. Another new thing that's introduced. I don't know. MCAP, Penance, the Shepherd. There's a lot going on, right? So ultimately, Raven killed them all. They're all good. But they're Clark and Raven, Miller, I think Nyla. For some reason, Nyla was there. I don't really know why she was there, but she was there. Maybe it's because she's a medic. I don't know. But she was there. They went through the portal to the random planet that Raven picked out of the 6. One they knew was Sanctum. They didn't know the other 5. They went through, and they're on the snowy ice planet. Of course they are, for like Star Wars. So they're on this snow planet with no way at the moment currently to get out of it. They need to find another anomaly stone to then open it to go through to another planet and try and find... Well, they want to try and find Penance to pick up the trail, and then they're going to get to Bordeaux. That's the plan, right? So they might be on the other side of Penance, I don't know. But it feels like that they've arrived on a different planet altogether, which, again, it feels very different for the 100. And the last bit we had was Gaia went to leave the bit where the orb was to go and warn everybody about what was coming, because more people from Bordeaux were probably going to cross over and try and fight them. She went to go and warn people, got knocked out by someone from Bordeaux who pressed some buttons, and they got pulled through the anomaly as it shut down. So the anomaly is now shut down, but it looks like in Sanctum. She and this dude have gone somewhere. Clark and that. So we could potentially have like 5 different planets in action right now. We could potentially have the people on Sanctum. We could have the people... Well, Orlando's still over on Penance. Everyone else is left at this point, I believe. We could have Bordeaux, where Bellamy's there somewhere, Octavia's there somewhere, Dios is there somewhere, and now Echo, Gabriel, and Hope have gone through. We could have this snow planet that Clark and Nyla, Miller are on. And was Jordan there as well? Maybe Jordan. I don't really know why he's helping. I'm confused as to why he's helping, because I thought he was all like Russell this, Russell that primes. So I'm just a little bit lost with that character at the moment. but they could potentially be on a fourth planet, and Gaia could potentially be on a different planet as well. So we might not be, but potentially we've got 5 different planets on the go at once at this point, which again feels very different to the 100 that we've had so far. Feels very extreme sci-fi, feels very Star Warsy, Star Trekky, which again, like I said earlier on the start of the review, just for me feels like whilst I'm enjoying it and it's definitely interesting, it just doesn't feel like the 100. Like the first 5 seasons felt very complete, and I don't know. I need to think about how to word what I'm feeling, but I'm hoping you understand what I mean, and maybe I'm agreeing. Maybe I'm saying things that a lot of you felt. Let me know down below. If you're watching these reactions, what were your thoughts? How did you feel? How did you feel about season 7? Or at least up to this point. And were the things that I'm mentioning about why I'm maybe a bit disconnected from the season, were they the same for you? Because I don't know if I'm necessarily articulating myself too well, but I'm thinking, if you understand what I mean, let me know. But I did like the episode. I'm intrigued to see these different planets and how they survive. I'm looking forward to seeing Bardo. And looking at the next episode title, I feel like we're going to be reaching Bardo finally. And I am looking forward to seeing how all the pieces fit together later on down the season and how it all leads towards the last war. As always, my name's Scott. I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave some comments down below. Let me know what you thought of the reaction, the episode, and your thoughts on everything that happened this episode. It was a lot, right? There was a lot to take in this season, but I think I'm slowly getting my head around everything. But I can't wait. I'm looking forward to meeting the Shepherd as well and seeing who he is, what their belief systems are, the level 12, all that kind of things. Yeah. But let me know down below what you thought. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Take a look at the Patreon link down below to watch the full reaction to this episode and help support the channel. And I'll see you all very soon for the next episode of season 7 of the 100. Bye guys, take care and stay safe.